Time for a wild card weekend wrap-up presented by our friends at Verizon. And I want to start with the first team we saw. Mike Tirico, you saw them in person, the Indianapolis Colts taking down the Houston Texans. Usually we look at a 6 seed and say, they don't have a chance, but it's happened in the past. How seriously should we take these Colts moving forward?
Well, I apologize because this is probably the biggest miss I've had in 10 years since I've done this show. I mean, I thought the Colts could only win.
Don't sell yourself short. You've had more.
Stop. I thought the Colts would only win 4 or 5 games, Coach, and you told me, hey, believe in those Colts, believe in those Colts. It's not just Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton, but that defense, how competitive they are. I think I like their secondary a lot.
Yeah, they hired Matt Eberflus from the Dallas Cowboys to be their defensive coordinator. He brought the system from Dallas that had started in Tampa. Fast, young guys. It's not complicated, so these rookies, Darius Leonard, and a lot of the young guys could get on the field right away, and they're playing full speed.
And I called the game on radio, which means you're up on the 8th floor at the top of the building. But what I saw from up there was the traits of Rod Marinelli, your pal's defense, with Matt Eberflus, who was there with Marinelli in Dallas. And that was all these white shirts and all the Colts rallying to the ball all the time. And you could see that constantly. And, Tony, maybe you can go back to something we talked about a few weeks ago, that Matt Eberflus was inherited by Frank Reich. As the head coach, he was told, we hired Matt for Josh McDaniels. You have to stay here. They've moved their family. And that's a hard thing for a head coach to do, not pick his guy, but inherit one.
I really have to give Frank Reich a lot of credit. He took that job, and Chris Ballard, the GM, said, hey, we hired this young defensive coach. He's very, very good. Look at what he does in Dallas. And Frank had played against them, Philadelphia and Dallas, so he knew the system. He liked it. He talked to Matt, and even though he had never worked with him, he said, you're my guy, and it has really worked for him.
And how easy it would have been for the Colts at 1-5, and for Reich to say, hey, this is just a redshirt year, right? It was weird circumstances like Eberflus. I get the job in early February when I hadn't even interviewed. All right, and Andrew Luck's back. That counts as a pass on a pass-fail system. It doesn't matter what our record is. They turn it around. They're 10 out of their last 11, and they're going to be dangerous.
Rodney called it in the game where they went for it.
Right.
And in overtime against Houston, and I said, that's a bad decision, play for the tie, and you said, no, this coach is making a statement.
Every time we go back to it, I listen to Andrew Luck when he has an opportunity to get interviewed, and he always says that play really changed our season because it showed that the coach believed in us, and we definitely believe in the coach.
All right, you have to believe in the Chargers now after they knock off the Ravens. They are undefeated this year outside of Southern California. They won in London. They've won all their road games except the one at the Coliseum. Now they go to Foxborough. Do you give them a chance there?
I picked the Chargers to beat the Ravens. I felt like the only thing that scared me was the moment too big for the Chargers. They proved to me today 7 sacks, 3 turnovers, that they can go anywhere and win, including Foxborough. I think right now Phillip Rivers is a lot better quarterback than Tom Brady.
And Rodney has told me, I've sat next to him for 10 years, he's told me the way you beat the Patriots is put pressure on Tom Brady up the middle and play tight coverage. The Chargers can do both. They showed today how they can get pressure using Bosa and Ingram inside. That could be a big thing.
And they don't mind playing with 7, 8 defensive backs.
Great deal for Anthony Lynn and the Chargers to turn around the game from the Ravens, the first meeting, which was only 2 weeks ago. I was intrigued to watch the end of the game because you were all expecting Joe Flacco to come in, and Lamar Jackson stayed in. And John Harbaugh told us a few weeks ago, this is the way we're going, down this road, and committed to this road. And I think by getting back in that game and having the ball late with a chance almost makes it okay if they continue down this path of Lamar Jackson running the ball, playing defense. It'll be fascinating to watch the offseason chess moves that happen with Baltimore.
Well, and also this dynamic of a team getting a second chance at Lamar Jackson. As more teams see this offense, will they have? There'll be a ceiling they'll have to bust through.
So Gus Bradley made some big time adjustments. The first thing he did was play 7 defensive backs. Say this is not a power-oriented team. It's all this read stuff. I'll get my speed out there. That speed negated the quarterback, Lamar Jackson, and then rushing Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa inside on the guards. That's the weak spot. We won't let him run up the middle. We'll make him run wide and use our speed to chase him down.
One of the great facts of the day, 58 of the 59 snaps, the Chargers played 7 DBs. They had only played 50 snaps all year of 7 defensive backs.
Now, I'll tell you this, if they do that against the Patriots, Belichick will run the ball 45 times.
Right. It's your 2 former teams. Do you have like a half jersey, like half Patriots, half Chargers you're going to wear?
I really haven't thought about it. I'm not like super emotional over it yet.
It's been a long time. You're over it, yeah.
He'll win either way.
Yeah. Okay, Seattle and Dallas got together last night, and look, Seattle had a special year given that they were rebuilding. The Cowboys at home, tough to beat, good defense, good running game. Can the Cowboys take that show on the road now?
It's not a good defense, it's a great defense. And to me, the secondary really complements the guys up front, but those linebackers, I think the linebackers are the key. They fly around, they're hit, they're physical, and they don't make a lot of mistakes in the back end.
Yeah, the defense can go on the road and play. It's going to be Dak Prescott and that offense. Will they continue to flourish? Amari Cooper makes a difference for them. And so I like where Dallas is right now.
Think about where Dallas was that Monday night game they played Tennessee. We thought that they were done. Who knew what Jason Garrett's future was going to be? And what Dallas showed you win after win after win. I know they lost to the Colts, but we now know the Colts are a pretty good team. Dallas showed you a toughness. And if there's one thing that came out of both sides of the ball from their win Saturday night over Seattle, the Dallas Cowboys are a tough team. Will they make it a physical game on the road in the playoffs to try to get to the championship game?
And I also think that Dak Prescott really took his game to another level before our very eyes, did things that we maybe didn't think he could do, and carried that team. Usually it's Ezekiel Elliott that carries them. It felt like it was Dak that carried them on
things
Saturday
that Rodney's been calling for him to do.
Yeah.
Run the ball, put it in your hands, make that big play.
He's young, he's big, he's fresh. Make it happen.
And I'd love to ask Tony, when a quarterback gets a playoff win, does that take him to a different level, a different appreciation?
It does. It really does. You're excited about it. You're happy to be in the playoffs. But when you win one and you realize you can and how much fun it is, hey, that next week of preparation is a lot of excitement and enjoyment.
All right, speed round time.
Love it.
Unsung hero of the wild card round.
For me, it's Gus Bradley, defensive coordinator of the Chargers. I thought he had a great game plan.
Colts offensive line, 200 yards rushing, over 400 yards. Andrew Luck was not sacked against the Houston Texans with Clowney and Watt and that whole crew.
I would go Dak Prescott. That run that he made on the 1 yard line, I think that was huge.
Yeah, and I mean, every time I looked up at the game today, Melvin Ingram was doing something for the Chargers. He was everywhere. And we talk about Joey Bosa, but Melvin Ingram was a difference maker.
After leaving the game in the first quarter with an injury.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I was thinking Melvin Gordon.
Biggest GOAT.
Biggest GOAT.
Wow.
Wow.
T.Y.?
I think, no, I'm going to go Bill O'Brien, 4th down and 1 at the 5 yard line. Empty formation, throw the ball. When you've got Deshaun Watson in that read option, I just didn't think that was the right call.
I would say the entire Houston Texans organization. No, but remember what they said. Hey, our quarterback's hurt. He comes back. He's healthy. He's having a good year. This is our year. We got J.J. Watt back. And to go out and lay an egg the way they did was very disappointing.
I'll go the NFL rules book.
There we go.
And the case book in the rule book from that play before the halftime of the Chicago-Philadelphia game. So you're telling me that if somebody would have walked over and picked up that ball, it would have been a catch by Chicago and either a fumble or Bears ball. But since it wasn't picked up, it wasn't a catch. How do we see one thing with 3 steps and all the other stuff and say it's a catch, but it's not a catch because nobody picked the ball up? It's ridiculous.
Well, and look, I didn't want an Ed Hockley explanation from Tony Correnti, but he should have done something more than just say no clear recovery, so it's an incomplete pass, because logic would tell us that the two aren't connected. I got to say, Brian Schottenheimer, the new Seahawks offensive coordinator, Russell Wilson, we saw Dak Prescott running the ball and how effective. Russell Wilson needed to get sprung a few more times. And also, that onside kick at the end of the game, I know with the new kickoff, it's hard to get a conventional onside kick, but the pooch, it's exactly what they tried to do. It just was a horrible idea. All right. And Rodney had to leave.
He refused to answer.
John Harbaugh is coaching where in 2019?
Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens.
Because when Lamar Jackson finished the game, that told me John Harbaugh's committed to that team.
I'm still going to say Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins.
Rodney did not want to answer your question.
Rodney
over your shoulder.
He knew what was coming.
The card said he checked out on.
All right, 2 more quick ones. Most intriguing spot for Josh McDaniels next year?
I think it would be the Green Bay Packers. You have a veteran quarterback and a chance to win right now. That could be great for him.
I agree with that. Cleveland. Cleveland has the quarterback, has cap space, has a young team, has some pieces on offense with the running back, and Njoku, the tight end. I think that would be an intriguing spot, CJ.
I was going to say Cleveland as well, but it just occurred to me the Baltimore Ravens may need a coach.
You're back there again.
If they take away the Patriots' offensive coordinator, that would be the ultimate move in that rivalry. All right, last one. Where's Antonio Brown play this year?
I'm going to say Pittsburgh while you think, and I'll tell you why. Because you've got to mend that fence. Because Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown are 2 top 20 talents, maybe top 15 talents in the league. If you know Bell is going to leave, can you really have both of those guys walk out of your door in great spots, if not the prime of their career, and still feel like you can be a team that can contend for a championship. So I'll say they'll figure out a way to mend the fences.
You never know what you're hearing, how much is true, how much isn't. But if what we're hearing is true, it's hard for me to see him playing in Pittsburgh. I would not want to play with someone who just said, you know what, I don't want to play Week 16.
I think the key is going to be getting Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown in the same room and figuring out whatever's going on between those two guys, because I keep hearing that's the issue, that's the problem, and if they're going to coexist, and if Roethlisberger's getting a contract extension, as reportedly may be happening, they have to find a way to get those two guys on the same page, because it's too much of a distraction. This has been distraction after distraction and disruption. They've just got to be done with it if they don't think they can get it under control. All right,
we've season of kumbaya next year.
That's right. That's right. And if they could ever do that, we'll be talking about them.
No question.
Maybe not this weekend, division round weekend, championship weekend, Super Bowl week. All right, that's it for now. We will see you next time.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.